Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to an AM edition of BTV. I am Brandi Skyy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a piece of my morning ritual, my AM ritual that I do every day that kind of helps foster my creativity. And on this week's podcast, we are talking about how I use tarot and the tarot cards to kind of create a space and a daily communion with the divine within and myself, and the creativity and the divine without. And so I am bringing you in my AM morning ritual, which I'm going to talk about next week on the podcast. So if I'm a little slow and kind of out of it, it's because I literally just woke up probably about 35 minutes ago, still on the cup of coffee. I've meditated, so I'm really kind of in a that limbo in between, like being fully awake and kind of still being like sleep zombie. So, but I wanted to bring you in the actual ritual as I do it, because I think it's important to see how it kind of flows in my day, and not just, have this amazing backdrop and pre-recorded thing that, has all my crystals laid out. This is, while that's beautiful, and I do have those moments of, everyday magic, this is how I use this tool in real life. This is how I make it accessible in my day. So forgive the no makeup, forgive the backdrop. I literally do my morning ritual in my kitchen, so you might hear the gentle hum of our archaic fridge. So for that, I apologize. But I really wanted to make this as real for you as it is for me. And so I kind of want to start off just showing you all the tools that I use. This is my tarot deck. And I also want to start and say, this is not about tarot being the only vehicle and way to do this. I talk about in the podcast how you can use whatever tool feels right to you. For me, it's a tarot deck. For sometimes it's oracle cards. For my mom, it's a little small devotional, like a little Bible that she reads every day, like it's a little Bible verse and a quote. This is really about finding a tool that feels good for you. And so for me, tarot and the symbolism and the meaning behind it, and the meaning that I can kind of morph and create into my life, that's why I find this tool helpful, and it helps my creativity. So the goal here is to find your vehicle. So the tarot is a vehicle to that communion in the space of myself that I create from. And that is also a channel from creativity from above and below. So this is my box. I've had this tarot deck for, oh my God, forever. I got them when I was working at Barnes & Noble, and my manager there used to call me Witchy Poo because I was always in the New Age section. But it's called Tarot of the Dead. And so I just kind of want to show you, I'm gonna take you through the ritual, but I just kind of want to show you why these cards resonated with me. Because everything, first off, if you can see it, there we go. All the cards are gender neutral. They are all in a very, Mexicana, Chicana spirit of Dia de los Muertos. And so I really loved that. I felt pulled to that, and that's the back of the card. And so all of them have that kind of gender neutral space to be read from. And so this is my deck that I use every morning. Because I'm still learning the tarot, I also have purchased, your basic writer tarot deck, because the deck that I have is, I know I'm going to botch this, the Marcellis, please, I think that's the way you pronounce it, that deck, which is where they have what they call, I think, pip cards. And so instead of having like a picture, so let me go in here and show you, they have just like what you would see like in a deck of cards. So like the suits instead of the, and so they have the suits instead of the actual drawing. So like you can see the difference between the two. So this is the Ace of Cards, and you can see kind of like all the additional symbols and stuff that the Rider-Waite has. And as opposed to mine is literally just the suite. And so that's also kind of like, you can see it's just, and this is the cups, but it's coffins in my deck. But you can see that the Rider has a lot more symbolism. So because I'm still learning, like I like to use both. So I'll pull from my deck, but then if I need to go further into any kind of symbolism, I will pull so I can see the visual from the Rider deck. Okay. So those are the two that I kind of keep around with me. And then another tool I use, and I'm going to bend you over so I can show you. I read, when I interpret what I am, the message, I read this book, and this one is my favorite by Michelle T. So these are kind of like the guides to help kind of shift out and funnel out the message. Sometimes I will also use this book, and I also love the question aspects of, can you see this? Of this book as well. But when it comes to the tarot pool, I will think about a question or an issue or something that has been maybe I'm struggling with creatively, and I will hold that question in my mind and I will shuffle the deck. So just to kind of give you a little insider, currently, as of, what is this, the new moon in Taurus, April 22nd, this is going to sound really loud, sorry. I've been working with kind of how I can be my most authentic self and how I can spread that authenticity and light in my work, in my creative space, online, in my life, in my daily life. And I'm going to move this down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and then I'll show you the layout and you can see my microphone, but it's morning, it's AM, fuck it. And so I've been working with, you know, how can I bring my real authentic self into my creativity. And so every week I pull a tarot card at the beginning of the week that kind of lays the foundation for every other card that I pull during the week. And so this week I pulled the Seven of Pentacles, and that's all about, you know, waiting for a harvest. Like, you know, the card is all about someone sitting there with their gardening tool, just standing and kind of looking at these seven pentacles or coins, and here they're reels, like a movie reel, and looking at them and just kind of waiting. And it's really interesting because that's kind of what this new moon is about as well. And so my question today is going to be about how can I use all of this energy, what I've been feeling in my daily life about bringing and sharing an authentic, real version of myself in my work, and how can I use this new moon to kind of help foster that. What kind of new moon intentions should I set today? Let's just keep it simple, because later on I'm going to be recording how I use the new moon also as a tool to kind of channel my creativity. So I'm just going to ask, how can I use this new moon to channel all of these intentions? And so what I like to do is I always, and not always, but if I feel called to, I'll look at the bottom of the deck. For me, I kind of feel like it's a bookend, especially when I'm asking really big questions and, kind of what are my new moon intentions, or what should my new moon intentions be to kind of foster in the creativity and this authentic, Brandi that I'm trying to bring into my life. And Kismet, the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess, and as you already know, that's kind of like, I think it's ruled by the moon. The High Priestess is the moon, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in the comments. Like I said, I'm still learning, no judgment. We all start somewhere. But new moon, there's something already, there's a connection to that, the question and the answer. And this is the beautiful thing about finding your tool. And like I said, mine is the tarot. It's extremely personal to me. Yours might be an oracle deck, like I said, the Bible. It's amazing how your questions are answered in a way that is both expected and unexpected. So this is a really interesting card to pull, especially with what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out of the deck. And this is the bottom. Okay, so I should probably do this. This is my first time doing this. And forgive the cord. Like I said, put that over there so you don't have to see that. Okay. So move this closer to me. So this is the bottom of the deck. And then I'm going to pull the top card. And as you can see, and I'm going to flip them over to make them more visible to you. So the Page of Pistols. And so in my deck, the pistols are the swords, the coffins are the cups, the reels are the coins, and the pen, it's a writing pen, like a quill pen, are the wands. And so this is the page. So the page is the beginning of the court cards. And I already know that this means that whatever my new moon intentions are going to be, they're at the fundamental, they're at the youth stages. So I need to think of this and come from this from like kind of like a youth perspective. But because this was at the bottom of the deck, I also kind of am intuiting that I need to, I'm going to move this up so you can see me. I am feeling like I need to also bring my own, divinity to this newness, all this new stuff that I'm working with right now. The swords is the air, is the mental realm. So all this shit that I've been thinking about, like I told you at the beginning, like bringing my creativity into, bringing my authentic self into the creativity. This is all that newness, all the stuff that I'm birthing, the page, the stuff that I really need to, that I'm coming from a beginner's mind. And this is telling me that I still need to bring all the experience, the priestess, all the energy that I come with, the coming out, the queerness, the color, all of these experiences that connect me to my higher self and the priestess. I need to bring my whole self, my whole background into this work. And so where I go from here, I don't necessarily, sometimes I'll read from the books just to kind of gain a better understanding, but I also really try to trust my intuition. And right now I'm feeling like I understand the message of this. And so what I do from here, once I have my cards, and I don't always pull two cards, I'm just going with the flow. I woke up, I'm doing whatever the fuck the universe, spirit, source, whatever is channeling, telling me to do. So, but it makes sense. This makes sense to me. And so where I'll go from here is I will write it down on, I'm just giving you away all the tools that I do. Sorry, I have so much shit on this table. So I will write it down. This is kind of like my morning checklist that I go through. I need a better clipboard, but you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. So I'll write it down, my daily card pull. I have a little place right here that says daily card pull, and I will write down Page of Pistols, and then I will write High Priestess, but I will also note that the High Priestess was at the bottom of the deck. Two sides, same coin. And then what I'll do is I'll write down 1 to 2 little quips that I can take with me during the day and into my creativity or my projects or whatever I'm going to do. So I've already said that the High Priestess is telling me that I need to stay rooted in my own magic and bring all of the magic of my experiences into setting my new moon intentions. So I'm going to write that down. Bring whole experience, Priestess, new moon. Okay. And then I know that the Page of Pistols air, I know that this is taking all of that, the mental stuff and beginning to really birth that out and maybe make that physical. And so because I really want to make this a little bit more tangible, I am just going to see if I can quickly find something that kind of pulls or tugs at me. And so just the first sentence, the Page of Swords is a whirlwind of ideas and excitement. So it says, if the Page of Swords has blown into your world, prepare for much action and energy. Some of it not very well planned out, but bound for execution anyway. So this is just telling me that my intuition and kind of what I was being drawn to in my life was correct. It's all about the energy and this idea and all these things and from a beginner's mind and putting them into action. So I know that for today, I'm going to set my new moon intentions and go into every project bringing my priestess self and seeing how I can move all of this airy energy and how I can manifest that into the very real earthy. It's a new moon in Taurus, all about earth. My wife is a Taurus, my dad's a Taurus. I'm surrounded by so much Taurus energy, but that is a really good energy to help us kind of ground and plant in. So I'm going to try planting all of these airy seeds into the ground of my new moon intentions. And that is kind of how I'm going to go about my day. I hope that you enjoyed this. I feel like there was a lot in here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create kind of like a little cheat sheet, and I'm going to pin it in the comments below and at the top. So if you kind of like this idea, I'll be a quick cheat sheet just to kind of take you through it. And I'm going to pin that in the comments. Please listen to the podcast, the companion podcast to this video, because it kind of goes a little bit deeper into why having this kind of tool and this vehicle is important to all of our creativity. That is going to be linked in the description below the video. And please don't like, whatever you want to do with this video, take it, leave it, just use it. See if it works for you. Try it out in the morning. I love you guys. I'm going to finish my coffee and set some new moon intentions and try to wake the fuck up. Bye.